So here's the utility mower. Videos that include this mower have been getting a lot of views, so it only makes sense to get a video of it. So we'll talk about what this mower is, modifications it has, and just a little bit about it. First start off of what this thing is. I don't remember the exact year, but this should tell us. This is the 1996 K-Grow Powerflow mower deck made by AYP. These were sold at Kmart. The original engine that was on this was a 5-horse Briggs & Stratton Quantum flathead, and that engine didn't really run the best. It eventually did throw a rod. The engine was very worn out when I got it. I don't think it's ever had an oil change. I gave it an oil change, and it actually seemed to run worse after that. So the engine didn't really last long. So I replaced it with this, which is a 3.5 horse Predator engine. This one's under the Powermore name. So this is pretty much a Cub Cadet engine, I think. The ones that Cub Cadet uses on their mowers. 140cc. Said it was 144, but this was originally on a 21-inch Oakmont push mower that was either side discharge or mulching. It was actually my on-sold mower. I've had this engine for quite some time, actually. This engine used to be on a Pulin that I used to have. It had a custom exhaust at one point. I ended up putting the original one back on when that exhaust took a dump. It's had a few oil changes in my lifetime of using it, and then can't say not too much has really happened to it. Had a self-propelled pulley on there for a little while. That's since been removed. I don't sharpen the blade on it. The blade has a bit of a modification to it. Well, actually not necessarily the blade, but the adapter. The adapter has some washers underneath of it. Well, now it's going to tip over. But this blade adapter has some washers underneath of it to push it down. So the blade goes under the deck about a 1/2 inch, so it cuts some of the tall grass. And also the front, this piece here is going to get removed eventually. It should, hopefully. I'll get in here for an angle grinder and cut that off. So it can mow down some of the stuff in the front a bit better. Another thing to note is this does have a high lift blade. The high lift part I do sharpen. This bottom part's just so dinged up. And I'm not really too worried about the leading edge. So this mower is set to its highest position on the back and the front. So for all the people that are saying this thing cuts too low, it can't go any higher. And I'm actually being honest about that. This thing genuinely can't go any higher. Something else I've gotten a lot of comments on is this side discharge chute. This thing, it's supposed to be up more like this, but over the time of being squished in the wagon, it's gotten really short like this, where it's just kind of rubbing against everything, which I don't mind. This thing does make windrows of grass, and that's not really a big deal. This engine right here has enough torque that it will actually plow through a lot of really thick, tall grass, as seen in previous videos of it. Another thing is there's no support beam right there along the bottom of the side discharge chute. I'm also pretty sure if the people want to have this thing open, it can be held up in this orientation, probably with a rope going over it. I might make some sort of gizmo on the deck that will overlap this. Another modification that I forgot to mention earlier, well, it was originally when this mower came to me, the side discharge chute was not on it. There also wasn't a rear flapper guard or straight bar on the back. Those have both been added. The stripe bar that I put on it, it was off of I can't remember which mower it was, but whatever it was a bit too big for this one, if you can't tell, because the blade has come in contact and kind of screwed it over a little bit. I had to put a side discharge piece on this because this thing was just slinging the grass. When I would go out mowing with this, I would get grass in my eye and stuff. It was like using a weed whacker. Like, you couldn't pretty much dodge the grass if you wanted to try. And the grass would just shoot a good 6 to 10 feet away from this mower whenever it was running. And also with the discharge piece, I was having another problem with when I was mowing grass and rocks and stuff would just fling out back at my legs. And I typically mow with shorts. It gets hot here in Ohio. And sometimes I'm lazy and I wear sandals while I mow, which don't do. That's stupid. But some people do it. And that had to be fixed. So I put a flapper on there. And then I put a discharge chute on this. And the discharge chute, it came off of a Roper that was identical to this. It had front wheel self-propel and also an old Quantum on it. That mower eventually also took a dump. I sold the deck for parts. And then the motor was, I think, parted out. And eventually the engine block was scrapped. The handles, I think I might still have, but I'm not sure. The upper part of this handle, this was off of a Power Smart push mower that I found on the side of the road. Same with the cable. The cable is also from that Power Smart. And the hardware here, the upper part of this handle, it was eventually, it was actually one of the ones that had kind of the curve that would go up and like down like this and had padding on it. It was actually a pretty nice handle, but it eventually kind of fell apart on me. The original pull start was down here in the center, but when I did this, I put it up here. I don't know how I feel about the location and stuff, so that's all I really got to say. I guess the next part could just be me starting this thing up and showing the camera what this mower can really do, and what this thing sounds like. It's a 22-inch deck, has a 22-inch blade. I was running a 21 blade on here for a little bit because my original 22 got bent, and yeah, so we have this jungle out here to work with, and a cat. And this right here is like a garden. There's like wooden things there that I'm going to have to remove. But we're going to mow just kind of along this and kind of in this area. So I'll show you what this does. And also what this thing does on the when you first start it up too. On the cold start. There's a bit of a sun glare on this. So I apologize for that. But we're going to prime it 3 times. The rope. I guess we'll check out the damage. This isn't the first time I've done stupid crap by running over things with this mower I'm not supposed to. That's a pretty thick rope. It looks like a dog leash of some sort. So we'll just remove that. You can see the blade did get a good nick out of that too. Everything's fine. I can actually see this left of it on this crate. Shuffle it for the time being so we can finish mowing. So my battery is rather limited right now, so I can't really film a whole bunch, but I'm just going to mow this area until either the battery dies or I'm finished. And I have some really thick stuff going through here, so you actually get to see what this mower can do. So, there's a video of that in action. See if I have enough battery to film this part. So there's a video of the utility mower. So thank you very much for watching and have a good day.